Come, my children, the moon hangs fat in the sky and the fire crackles with stories untold. Tonight, I will tell you a story of Inuade, a beautiful woman who carried the word sorrow in her empty home, and the child who came not from her flesh, but from the river's tears. Sit closer, the story is long, like the journey of the snail to a bamboo tree. In the village of Iluoro, where the earth was red like the setting sun, and the palm trees whispered secrets to the wind, there lived a woman named Inuade. Her hands were strong from pounding yam, her back straight from carrying water pots, but her heart ached with pain no herbs can cure. Inuade was barren. Each morning, as she swept her compound, she heard the laughter of children chasing chickens. Each evening, as she cooked, she heard mothers singing lullabies. The village women gathered at the stream, their babies strapped to their back, and said, Inuade, when will you join us? Or will you die leaving no footprints in the sand of time? Her husband, Olorunfemi, was a good man. When his brothers said, take a new wife, he refused. But Inuade saw how his eyes lingered on the playing children. One night, during the season when harmattan wind blew cold, Inuade wrapped her tight clothes and walked to the sacred river. She knelt where the water met the land and cried, Oshun, mother of rivers, if I have offended the gods, tell me, if my home is closed forever, give me peace. The river gurgled, a silver fish leapt, then silence. Inuade returned home, her tears mixing with the dust. 3 moons passed, then came the great drought. The earth cracked like an old man's palm. Crops withered. The stream where women fetched water shrank to a muddy trickle. The village elder, Babagba, called for sacrifice, 2 white hens and a black goat. The morning after the sacrifice, Inuade went to the river. The sun burned her neck as she bent to fill her pot. Then she heard it, a sound like a kitten's mew. There, nestled in the reeds, was a bundle wrapped in white cloth. Inuade's breath caught. She pulled back the cloth and gasped. A baby girl, not a newborn, perhaps 6 months old. Her skin glowed like a polished kola nut. Her eyes were bright as the morning star, and her tiny wrist called a thin blue vein, pulsing like a river's current. Omo mi, Inuade cried, lifting the child. The baby goggled and grasped Inuade's finger. Then the wind spoke. She is yours. Name her Ife. Inuade's knees buckled. She looked around and saw no one, just the silent river and the watching trees. When Inuade returned with the baby, the village erupted like stirred ants. A child from the river, impossible. She stole someone's baby, this is witchcraft. Even the kindest women eyed the child warily. Only Olorunfemi welcomed her, saying, if the river gives a gift, who are we to refuse it? That night, as Inuade fed Ife pap from a wooden spoon, the baby laughed, and outside, rain began to fall. Not just rain, but a storm that filled the dry up streams and made the yams swell with joy. The next morning, the village buzzed. Since the river child came, the drought ascended. But the elder Baba Agba warned, when spirits give gifts, there is always a price. Ife grew fast, too fast. At 1 year, she spoke in full sentences. At 3, she healed old Mama Ibeji's twisted leg with a touch. Then came Inyuade's second miracle. One evening, as she stirred the evening meal, Inyuade felt a flutter in her belly, like a tiny fish swimming. Her hands froze. Olorunfemi, she called. The midwife confirmed it. Inyuade, the barren woman, was pregnant. The village exploded in gossip. First the river child, now this. The gods are playing with us. When Inyuade gave birth to a son, Alabi, even the doubters whispered, perhaps Ife brought this blessing. Years passed. Ife, now 12, could summon rain by singing and make sick plants green again. The villagers brought her gifts, kola nuts, beads, and woven mats. But Chief Balogun, a proud man with a voice like thunder, grew jealous. No child has such power unless she is an Abiku, a spirit child sent to trick us, he declared. She should be driven out. Inyuade wept. Ife wiped her tears and said, do not fear, mother. The river does not forget its own. That night, as Chief Balogun slept, his favorite hunting dog began to howl. Then his spear cracked into two. Finally, his hut roof collapsed. But only his hut, in a village of 50 homes. The next morning, the chief was found kneeling by the river, his mouth full of river pebbles. When he spat them out, he could only whisper to Inyuade and Ife, forgive me. When Ife turned 18, she woke Inyuade at dawn. Mother, she said, my time here is done. Inyuade's heart clenched. You are leaving? Ife smiled. The river calls me home, but I leave you this. She pressed a smooth stone into Inyuade's arm. When you miss me, hold it to your ears, and you will hear the river sing. Then Ife walked to the water edge. As the villagers watched, she stepped in and melted into the current like morning mist. Inyuade lived to an old age, a compound full of Alabi's children. Some say Ife became the spirit of the river, blessing barren women who prayed with pure hearts. Even now, if you go to Ilora village and hold a seashell to your ear, you might hear Ife's laughter in the waves. Blessing on those who listen. The fire grows dim, but the story lives forever.